Good morning. This is One Buddhism of North Carolina. Today we will have a Dharma naming ceremony for 4 people. Please stay with us and share your blessings upon their Dharma journey ahead. Today, Reverend Song is going to lead us Qigong movement, so please enjoy.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day. It's a very special day. You're all invited to rest our active mind with the sound of a temple gong. Make your seat comfortable, either in your chair or on the floor. Feel your pelvic floor sitting up tall and high. And feel the vibration of temple gong. We're going to listen to this gong sound 10 times and settle our mind along this community vibration from the gong that invites us to be here now. 쳐주세요, 10번. Please join your hearts for sending our prayers and intentions to each and every heart and to the world. We call this prayer for world peace. Grace of heaven and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings, grace of laws, O Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, may we take refuge in Dharma and be filled with a compassion and wisdom. May we transform delusion into wisdom, greed into generosity, resentment into gratitude, discord into harmony, and hatred into compassion. May all nations grow and benefit mutually. May the strong help the weak, and may the weak learn and evolve according to Dharma. May all those who have died from world conflicts and disasters be delivered through all obstacles and be at rest. May there be peace throughout the world. May all beings enjoy tranquility and happiness, living in their original true nature. This we pray. This we pray with our whole hearts. Namu Amitabha. Namu Amitabha. Namu Amitabha. Namu Amitabha. Together. Namu Amitabha. Namu Amitabha. Namu Amitabha. Namu Amitabha. Today is a very special, happy day. Can you feel the joyous heartbeats of our four special friends? Rebecca, Leslie, Bob, and Paula, who are receiving their Dharma names today. They are fully inspired and committed to their Dharma practice and service to community. This week, I have been reflecting on each of them. Rebecca Smith. With your short hair and shy smiles, you always remind me of an old high school friend in Korea. When you first came to One Buddhism 101 class and Tuesday night meditation, you looked skeptical. Then one day, after a while, I saw how comfortable and sincere you looked. Within a few short years, you came to a deep understanding of One Buddhism, not only of its philosophy, but also cultural and historical background. You have developed a self-reliant daily practice. In your gentle and caring heart, you have a strong will to support goodness in the world. Rebecca Smith, WontempleNC. Your Dharma journey will flourish in your good heart. We are honored to have you on this path with us. Leslie Casey. Last year, right after a week-long retreat, when you asked me if you could be a long-distance practitioner, I was thrilled. I felt I had found a gem. Your willingness to receive guidance for your practice is strong, such that 3 hours distance did not matter. Even before the pandemic, you always listened to our weekly Dharma talks online. I am amazed to witness your daily practice with the meditation, scripture study, and mindful actions. When you joined workshops and book clubs, you are You are very quiet in the corner, but you deeply listen and internalize. Leslie Casey, Sun. You are bright. Through your daily practice, even brighter wisdom emerges along your path. How honorable we are to practice with you, Leslie. Bob Brown. You delightfully helped us by driving your truck to take temple gongs and program materials to the West Virginia for World Scout Jamboree. Thanks to your love of nature, more birds are visiting our temple since you and Reagan built bluebird houses. With your well-rounded knowledge, you are able to research and connect many resources to the temple. Your delightful and sincere spirit and generous heart are a blessing to one communities in the U.S. Your eagerness to learn with a humble mind is an inspiration. Bob Brown, One Bob Un. May your life in Dharma be joyous and be liberated. Paula Sims. I always feel that your mind field is rich with a positive and grateful energy. You continue to sow and cultivate. Your leadership and generosity make a difference in every community with which you connect. It was a surprising delight when you asked to be given a Dharma name. You are a super busy lady, but because of the pandemic, you were able to intensify your study of One Buddhism through online classes and retreats. I noticed and enjoyed seeing your amazing qualities of focus, dedication, and joy whenever you join our virtual programs. Congratulations on receiving your Dharma name. Paula Sims, Wan Shim Jin. May your true mind and heart in Il-One shine bright and true. Receiving a Dharma name means letting go of the egoistic self. Receiving a Dharma name means that with open mind and open heart, your ears are open to receiving guidance to shed old habits and grow. Receiving a Dharma name means that you surrender fixed ideas and thoughts, so you are ready to receive Dharma at any time with a beginner's mind. Naming Ceremony Day is an auspicious day. If you found your practice community is like you caught a doorknob. Now you receive a Dharma name, that means you open the door. We congratulate and celebrate our 4 sincere Dharma friends. Many, many blessings and joy for your journey ahead.
On behalf of the 4 of us this morning, Dharmakaya Buddha Fourfold Grace, we, Paula, Bob, Leslie, and Rebecca, are willing to devote ourselves to cultivating a new mind, body, and spirit. Please watch over and bless our Dharma path as we follow the threefold practice in a life of gratitude. I understand that my new Dharma name signifies my rebirth as a sincere Won Buddhist practitioner. Now I wholeheartedly receive the first 10 precepts.
Do not kill without due cause. Do not steal. Do not commit sexual misconduct. Do not consume intoxicants without due cause. Do not gamble or play idle games. Do not use harsh speech. Do not fight without due cause. Do not embezzle public funds. Do not borrow or lend money between close friends without due cause. Do not smoke tobacco without due cause.
May I honor these precepts sincerely, following them with a beginner's mind until they have been mastered.
Hello. Do you think there's anything to synchronicity? Those times when things inexplicably fall together? Many of us have had this kind of magical experience. Here's how it fell together for me with Won Buddhism. My spiritual search accelerated one April while I was in college. I had traveled a very long way on a whim, as one does in college, to a gathering on meditation, and in this seemingly haphazard fashion, I stumbled upon a spiritual framework that has sustained me ever since. In recent years, I've gradually realized that a low-key search is on again, this time to strengthen my meditation practice. Again, one April, I travel far to a meditation gathering, this time a week-long meditation retreat. Soon it grows clear that again I have stumbled upon a previously unknown and extremely compelling spiritual framework. In most ways, it is so consistent with my other spiritual home base that it could be an extension of it, except Won Buddhism steps cheerfully outside of Judeo-Christian and other Asian frameworks in a way that I am completely comfortable with. What a welcome breath of fresh air! Almost immediately, I see in the Red Book that it's filling gaps I barely knew existed in my other spiritual tradition, like quenching a thirst you didn't know you had. What makes one tradition have staying power over others? Some, like me, may find explanations in karma or reincarnation. The actual experience, though, is simple. It is the sense that, I can really relax here. Then there is this unexpected gift of teachers, kumanim, who embody the purity of no ego and embody that elusive state of samadhi. I used to wonder, how does one know this is my spiritual teacher? What does it feel like to totally trust? And is that a path for me? Here's my unfolding experience. Because I don't live in Chapel Hill, I joined the temple's Dharma services via streaming. From the start, during most of the Kumanim Dharma talks, I usually find myself smiling at some point. That lightness is rare, so I paid attention. Now, with Zoom, I see it peeking out from others' faces too. Above all, there is my implicit trust in their meditation guidance. And since that guidance is a personal priority, again, I pay close attention. My openness and trust are rare, so minimizing them is not an option. So now I move again towards the study, the practices, the Dharma classes, services, retreats, Q&A with Reverend Wangang, and I see now the Dharma name commitment as well. It may be surprising that one who lives far from a temple can take this step. It surprised me at first, but in fact, it's easy. Final thoughts about a Sangha, a practice community. Where once I was uncertain about it, I now see how those shared smiles and furrowed brows of others grappling with these teachings create a common ground. Our shared dedication to the teachings, teachers, and to this solitary mind practice creates a vibrant container, a gift on this homeward bound path. Thank you.
Good morning. It's good to be here with you. Years ago, I was lost on Highway Old 86 North and happened to spot the temple sign by the road with Hangul. Buddhism had always been compelling to me, but my childhood faith and I had failed each other in college long ago. At the time I drove by, I was busy living a happy secular life in the world, and there was no reason to turn into the driveway. When I finally did come, a close friend of mine and I were comparing notes on how hard life had grown recently, both inner and outer. We were looking for a place to walk and talk. The beauty of the temple hall and the gardens and the warm welcome were comforting that day, and it turns out the welcome stuck. I've been surprised by Won Buddhism. I thought I was only seeking quiet and a connection with Korea. It was my firm intention to slip into Tuesday meditation services, slip out, and go home. The dedicated outreach here, though, took me by the hand and never let go. And then, surprisingly, introductory classes opened up a lifetime's worth of study in history and culture and language and philosophy and practice. A squirrely, somewhat battered mind, professionally trained for decades in how not to meditate, could find tranquility. And more than that, as a result of practice, little things quickly began to seem little, big things seemed big, and I could see quickly through my own mental storytelling. If I spent ages 7 through 19 in church, leaving church left a stung, uneasy skepticism. For 4 years now, though, with the guidance and example of our Kyomunim, and with all of you, I've chanted or researched, attended services and argued with myself, and read and rebelled. I've known the truth of Ilwon-song and meditated. During this time, old emotions from church arose from the dead and demanded new emotional and intellectual work. And in a marvel-filled temple pilgrimage to Korea, places like Sakguram, Sambatche, and Iksan clicked and opened powerful inner landscapes. Taking the temple home to my house has meant daily chant, reading, and meditation, also staying connected with you, the community. In sum, faith is no simple thing, but a sure simplicity comes clearer and clearer, simply bright, ever the right direction even when we're unsure. It clarifies understanding and illuminates life and death, marvelous existence, marvelous change, perfect freedom. Out of samadhi come wordless answers to my many questions, and with that, an unexplainable call to commitment. This morning, I'm grateful for the Dharma name that seals that commitment. Thank you, heaven and earth, parents, dear fellow beings, and laws.
Good morning. I'm grateful to be with you here virtually to take this important step in my spiritual journey. It was in May of 2012 when a dear friend of mine introduced me to the Won Buddhist temple. I was looking for a place to meditate as I was experiencing a very turbulent time in my life. I had suddenly had some shifts in both my work and my relationship, and I was feeling untethered and experiencing groundlessness. So to regain some stability, I began attending the 6:30 morning meditations. Sometimes I would ride my bike 10 miles to the temple and get the chance to witness beautiful sunrises over the meadow. I found that sitting was much easier after expending all that nervous energy. But what I really noticed is that on my rides home, I would be repeating the chants. And later when I would go to visit my mom, she would ask me what I was humming. And again, it was some of the chants. And it seemed like timeless, placeless meditation was seeping into my life. I felt like I was connecting to my true nature, regardless of all the things that were happening around me. I began to feel more at peace. And over time, my life began to reshape. And then, as life does, things shifted again. And this time it was my mom's health. She began a long, steady decline over 6 years. And I tried to be there for her as much as I could. It was very challenging at times, difficult, and it was also extremely meaningful period of my life. Some of the most meaningful times were where Reverend Wanggong would visit us, and she would float in like an angel and float out 10 or 15 minutes later. And I would marvel at how she could create a sacred, peaceful space for my mom. And after she left, she would often say she felt at peace and full of love. And so I was very grateful for Reverend Wanggong supporting us during that time. Since then, I've recently completed an interfaith seminary program, and I was trying to discern some of my beliefs. My religion of origin is Christianity, and yet I have a strong pull towards Buddhism. And so during this time, I realized that I have a dual belonging, and that's okay. I take comfort in the fact that Buddhism's foundation is interfaith by background in both Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism. And so today, as I receive my Dharma name, I am very grateful for this community. Grateful for Reverend Wanggong and Reverend Ginger for their presence and spiritual leadership in cultivating this community. I appreciate the fourfold graces, the desire to cultivate compassion and wisdom, and feel like this community is a gift to me and to the world. So thank you for witnessing this step in my spiritual journey.
Good morning. My name is Bob Brown. My Dharma name is wontempleNC, which means living in the Dharma of Ilwan. I think I may have come into Buddhism as a mistake. I thought Buddhism was all about me, a chance to fulfill a spiritual need, find some solace, maybe even feel better about myself. But I was wrong. Buddhism is about us, all of us, and everything else in the universe. I had no religious background as a child. Both of my parents were burned out Baptists, as both my grandfathers were Baptist lay ministers. In college, I read the Bible on my own, cover to cover, and studied some other religions, and I became an Episcopalian. I followed that faith rather religiously for 40 years. Eventually, I became somewhat disenchanted with both the theology and sometimes the practice of Christianity. So for the next 10 years, I had no religion at all. Though through my vocation and my avocations, I always found solace in nature, the forest and fields being my temple. But I also felt a hole in my life, a lack of spirituality. Upon my retirement from the university about 8 years ago, I discovered the Kadampa Center, a Tibetan center in Raleigh. I attended their 6-week Buddhism in a Nutshell course, followed by a 2-year Discovering Buddhism course. There were weekly classes, lots and lots of reading, and some weekend retreats. In addition, I read dozens of other books about Buddhism from authors like Thich Nhat Hanh, Robert Thurman, Jack Kornfield, and others. As we came to the end of the 2-year course, I again began to feel uncomfortable with some of the theology and even some of the practice of Tibetan Buddhism. But I will always appreciate the wonderful education I received in fundamental Buddhism. Soon after that, I attended an open house at the Won Temple here in Chapel Hill. To be honest, being the son of a carpenter and cabinet maker, I was struck by, actually rather distracted by, the beauty and quality of the wood flooring, the walls, and the oval windows, the meditation garden. It was all so different than the colorful flags, banners, and gold icons of the Kadampa Center. I actually had to attend a second open house here at the Won Center before I really found out about the nature of Won Buddhism. Then I began attending the Sunday services and joined the Thursday morning Dharma discussion group. Since the pandemic began, I've continued with the weekly services and the Dharma group, virtually of course, and this week I completed my first semester of the Won Canon academic course online by the Won Institute in Philadelphia. I recently had the pleasure of walking the meditation trails of the Won Dharma Retreat Center in New York. Most of all, I've enjoyed the focus of Won Buddhism on the application of this faith. The Dharma of the Buddha, Master Sotasan, our founder, and others, as well as the Dharma talks by Reverends Wangan and Ginger here, and those of Reverend Yu and others at the Won Institute, have all made sense to me, as have the guiding doctrines of Won Buddhism, the Fourfold Grace, the Threefold Study, the Four Essentials, the 8 Articles, and the Precepts. I especially like the concept, everywhere a Buddha image, every act a Buddha offering. What perfect guidance for a life well lived. I'll admit, however, that as an academic, I'm better at studying Won Buddhism than I am in my daily practice, especially sitting meditation and daily journaling. But I'm working on that. And I still find wild places and wild things as much as part of my temple as our Chapel Hill temple. Finally, I'd like to thank for a moment the Sangha, or as Reverend Yu calls them, my allies. Certainly Wangan and Ginger, and Reverend Yu of the Won Institute, but also my Thursday morning Dharma class and my Thursday evening Canon class, as well as those that I have encountered face-to-face at services, retreats, and open houses here at the Won Center, and also the monks, nuns, and members of the Kadampa Center. You have all helped me to guide me to where I am today. I thank you all. As I close, I have to admit that I get a lot of my non-Buddhist philosophy from country and Western music and a few movies. So you'll have to forgive me if I borrow a line from a Jack Nicholson, Helen Hunt movie, As Good as It Gets. When people ask me what attracts you to Won Buddhism, I have to say, it's because it makes me want to be a better man. Thank you.
Song of Affinity. Are we not meant to meet again, to walk as one upon the path? We met before, years ago, like this. Our deep bond and affinity go back 3,000 years. This is the reunion we have been longing for. Now we stand beside each other without words. Do you not feel this joy? This joy? It springs to us from years ago. it springs to us from years ago.
Hello, Temple friends. My name is Krista, and my Dharma name is Wan Sung Un. This is my husband, Zach.
And my Dharma name is Wan San Young. We recently moved to Hillsborough from New York, where we were members of the Manhattan Wan Temple. Krista and I received our Dharma names 3 years ago there, and it was a great affirmation of our commitment to our practice and to the greater Wan Buddhist Sangha.
Reverend Ginger asked us to make a video welcoming the newest members of our new local Sangha into this global community of Kiwadan. Today we are happy to recognize Bob Brown, Leslie Casey, Paula Sims, and Rebecca Smith as committed Wan practitioners by giving them their new names.
These new names represent a moment of transformation for all Wan Buddhists who have demonstrated their strong practice and participation in our global Sangha. Today, with your new name, you can begin a new life as a Wan Buddhist. It's a terrific opportunity to enrich your practice in connection with our network of like-minded practitioners.
When we moved to North Carolina in July to be closer to my family, we didn't know how we would create new community here. Fortunately, as named Wan Buddhists, we were instantly welcomed into this friendly and active Sangha. There are Wan Buddhists all over the world, and having our Dharma name connects us all.
Congratulations.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anne Freeman. Years ago, in an effort to commit more to a spiritual path, I joined a local church. When one joins a church, one becomes a member. And when one becomes a member, it is expected that as a member, one will tithe or give money to the church on a regular basis. I dutifully tithed every month for 2 years. But I felt obligated. I was fulfilling a duty. I did not feel very good about it, honestly. 9 years ago, when I started attending services here at the temple, I noticed something that really struck me. Reverends Ginger and Wangong seemed utterly sincere in their desire to be nurturing and supportive of me and my fellow practitioners. Honestly, I didn't even think about contributing to the temple for a long time. And then I was surprised by what spontaneously arose within me as I watched their repeated generosity in giving of their time and effort and heart to me and others in our temple. I actually wanted to give to them and the temple. Quite frankly, it shocked me. So I've been giving for a number of years now. It's like they give to me, and then I want to give to them, and then they give to me, and I want to give to them. It makes a circle. And I promise I did not plan to come back to the symbol for Won Buddhism when I started this talk, but there it is. I do hope you will experience the joy of supporting our beautiful reverends and our beautiful temple and grounds, which nurtures so many of us on our journeys to greater peace of mind and happiness of heart. It is truly a good feeling to complete this circle of giving.
All is grace. 모두가 은혜입니다. All is grace. All is grace. I am grateful. Through the merit of this chant, may we connect to our hearts of gratitude. All is grace. 모두가 은혜입니다. All is grace. All is grace. I am grateful. Through the merit of this chant, may we connect to our hearts of gratitude.